I paint malls, offices, churches, and gas stations for a living, which most people would think is insanely boring. But I make $200,000 a year, don't have any full-time employees, don't do any of the jobs myself, and basically work from my laptop. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to build this one-person business. Make $200,000 in your first year, and do this all even if you're a complete beginner or working a 9-to-5 job. Let me break down exactly how painting boring commercial buildings actually prints money. For the first commercial painting job I ever landed, the client paid me $2,000 to paint their restaurant, and I walked away with $900 in profit in just one day. Here's what I did to get the job. I was actually on my way to work, and I noticed one of my favorite restaurants had some construction work going on. All the windows were covered up with plastic, and there were guys on ladders. So I stopped over and asked them, "What are you guys doing?" And they said they were painting the building because the owner wants it to look new again. Then they told me how much they were making. He told me every week he painted about one building for $2,000, which was way more money than I was making at my job. And even better, he was getting his work from the same repeat customers. And as I walked back to my car and started to drive away, all I could notice were there were restaurants all over the place, and they all needed to be painted. That's when I realized how easy it was going to be to start a commercial painting business. I just needed to get my first job. So I got online and started searching for local restaurants on Google and went to their websites trying to figure out who I needed to contact to ask for painting work. And that's when I noticed a small LinkedIn icon on one of their websites. So I clicked it, and it took me directly to the people who worked for that restaurant. And more importantly, showed me who the building manager was. I wrote her a message that said, "I noticed your restaurant's exterior paint is fading, and the restaurant down the street was just painted, so now more than ever, every potential customer is noticing the faded paint. I mentioned that this is the perfect opportunity to get more eyes on your restaurant, and I asked if I could come by that day and give them options to update their restaurant." And that's how I landed my first commercial painting job. This is the industry where anyone can start today. You can start printing money from your first week, and all you need to do is get on LinkedIn and message commercial clients. But the thing is, when I landed my first job, I had no clue how to paint commercial buildings. So all I did was drive around town looking for painters who were already working, and I found a crew painting a shopping mall. And the following week, I paid them a little over 50% of the total job contract to paint the restaurant for me. Now imagine consistently landing 1 or 2 commercial painting jobs every week, making $900 a day, and only working 5 days a week. You'll easily make $200,000 a year with just painting ordinary, simple commercial buildings. Now, if all this sounds great, and you would love to start your very own $200,000 a year commercial painting business, I have every step planned out for you. Everything from getting your first job to outsourcing the work. It's a free 30-day startup guide, so you don't miss a step. The link is in the description. And that's what makes starting a one-person commercial painting business the greatest opportunity. You don't need any experience. You just hire subcontractors to paint the buildings for you. Then you simply schedule the jobs on the weekends if you're working a 9-to-5 job. Now, you might be thinking, is it legit to hire subcontractors to paint the buildings for you? Well, the real problem is using employees instead, because you're going to have to train those employees, buy all the equipment that you need to paint a commercial building, and pay employment taxes on top of everything else, which is going to make starting out a huge burden. So I don't have to be the guy who paints the commercial buildings. I just partner with subcontractors who have the skills and equipment to do the painting. And all I do is simply just find the commercial clients who need their buildings painted and make sure that the clients are taken care of. And commercial clients care about one thing: the outcome. As long as I complete the job on time, follow the contract, and stick to the agreed price, that's all that matters to them. And pricing commercial painting jobs is easy. For painting office walls, I know how much to charge. For the ceilings in the lobby, or pricing on a restaurant entry that needs a new color, I just measure the areas I'm going to paint and select it in my estimating app. It calculates the price, the materials needed for the job, and how many days it's going to take to get the job completed. Then the customer gets a detailed bid of everything they want, and if everything lines up to their expectations, they sign the bid. Now, to get commercial painting jobs in my area, I had to do something simple. I started with building my company website. My first page on the website has a form for the customers to fill out and book a bid with me. Then I started ranking for SEO, which is search engine optimization, so I appear higher on Google and other search results. And all this does is make it easier for anyone that's looking for commercial painting to find you. And on each page, I added keywords specific to commercial painting, like restaurant painting, warehouse commercial painting, and I made each page specific to each city where I was painting commercial buildings. Then I started ranking higher on Google for each of the surrounding cities or towns in my area. And now when someone searches in those areas with the specific keyword, my website comes up first. And all they got to do is fill out the form to get a bid. Next, I started organic marketing on LinkedIn. Built up my profile to my specific services. Then I just started producing content about commercial painting and adding some keywords into the content like reliable Dallas Fort Worth commercial painters or storefront property painting in Fort Worth, Texas. And now building managers, general contractors, and even restaurant owners all see my content, and they all see my LinkedIn profile, which immediately starts building trust with them before the bid even starts. Then I started building my network of commercial clients on LinkedIn. The main thing that's important to run a commercial painting business is your network. Think of it as your major asset because you don't just paint one job with a client. They have multiple jobs, and in their network are other building owners who will have even more jobs for you. Next, build a reliable network of subcontractors. So no matter what happens, or as you need more help, I just always have a database of subcontractors I can rely on. I find my subcontractors on Craigslist, Thumbtack, Google Business Listings, and my Sherwin-Williams painting rep. All I did was open up a commercial painting account with the local Sherwin-Williams painting rep, and they've helped me multiple times to find reliable subcontractors looking for work. Then I just create a work order for them to follow on each job. The work order is just a document that has all the information listed: the address, the type of paint being used, pictures of the job, the colors of the wall, and the price that I'm going to pay them. So they have everything ready before the job even starts. But when I first started, I picked on my subcontractors with 1 or 2 person teams because I was starting out and I only wanted to paint smaller commercial buildings first. Now, if you're underpaid at your job and you want to start making $200,000 a year by starting a commercial painting business, I have everything planned out for you in a free 30-day startup guide. I will leave the link in the description. But you're going to want to get a software to automate this business, starting with the CRM, which is your customer relationship management software. I use Go High Level, where all your business information is stored and automations happen in the background. So everything is pretty much hands off, from when the client books the bid on my website to estimating the job to handing off the work order to the subs and collecting the final payment from the client. Then the completion of each job, I can verify it remotely with each subcontractor. I just call them up every day that they're on the job for updates. Then I update the client, and before the subs finish the job, they send me a message and I schedule the job walk with the client to make sure that the job is finalized and they're happy with everything. And after the final inspection is complete, I send the client a payment link to pay online. I physically don't need to be at every job, and I pretty much run this business from my laptop. Now, don't get me wrong. There are still issues I have with customers and subcontractors, like the sub not showing up or the customers changing the colors at the last minute. But I've been running this business for years, and I've come across just about every problem out there. But I'm still in business. It didn't stop me. You just learn from the problems, accept that it's your fault, and build better systems so it's less likely to happen again. But just remember, make sure every commercial painting client is being taken care of, because with running a commercial painting business, everything is connected. And I get calls all the time. Hey, you painted Tom's office last month, and I need you to paint mine too. I wake up in the morning and I already have 2 bids scheduled for tomorrow. I didn't have to lift a finger when they found me. I don't have any paid ads. It's all organic, repeat clients, and word of mouth, and I've made over 7 figures. It's just me, and most of the work is done on my laptop, and I keep growing more into commercial accounts and keep building my network. So if I was starting today, I would start a commercial painting business. It's the most beginner-friendly business to get into. Get your Google business page built, and get your website with all the local cities and towns and have a page for each of them, so you start ranking for keywords right away in that area. Then I would start building my LinkedIn profile. Fill out everything. Start finding building managers with local businesses and connect with them. After they connect, I would post content that gives them valuable information about commercial buildings. Then start DMing your connections and offer to paint sections of the commercial buildings. You'll get people who say no thank you, but I wouldn't let that faze me, and keep asking and keep building your network. It's actually really simple to start this business, and it's a lot more scalable than people realize. Offer clearly defined commercial painting services that you can bid consistently, quickly, and profitably. And this all started because I saw an opportunity that commercial buildings are everywhere and they need to be painted. I mean, they're all over your city. Now, if you love the idea of starting your very own $200,000 a year commercial painting business, then go watch this video right here where I'll show you the exact steps to start your very own solo commercial painting business. And yeah, I love the idea of running commercial painting business. It's very beginner friendly. And if I was starting over today, I would start a one-person commercial painting business. It's the easiest way to make $200,000 a year.